do is get the, well, let's look at the drive lot. I'll get the engine and the front end and the back end and go from there. You know, put them where I need them, work the ground clearance out, steering geometry, length of it and all that. Over on the bench over there, look where that gearbox is. Happy days. What I've got with Dan's is that. Oh, I've got 2 wheels and 4 hubs, don't know which to wear. Got to fit bearings, work out spindles and spacers for it all. And I've got to try and put this Ultima upside down front end together to work out the length of the front end. I've not even seen the spring. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'll have another look through his bits, but I believe there is no fork springs with it, so that might be a dead stop. Unless the springs are in the tubes there, which they may well be, because I don't really get how it fucking works, to be fair. Ta-da! And as if by magic, the forks and yokes are together. It did help that Dan sent me through the manual. Fucking work that one out, hold on. Sent me through the manual, lot. Pages and pages and pages of the shit that show you how to put them together, really. Service manual for the forks. So we've done that. What I've got to do now is press the bearings. Hold on. I've got to press the new wheel bearings into the hubs. So they go in there with that on top. I'll go over to the hydraulic press and give them a quick squeeze. Right, not possibly the most photogenic part of the process, but we're just going to pop that in until I feel it's fucking solid, which it is. And then we'll struggle one-handed. We'll have that up. And there you go. That's the wheel bearing pushed in. We're going to go and check the spacing now for the spindle spacer. Right, so the bearings are pressed in. The spacer that there was 2 in with the spindles, and the one that was on the spindle is the wrong fucking one. No surprises. But what I've managed to do now is measure across the hub. Yeah, measure from the hub to the centre of the wheel to see if there's a difference, because wheels are often offset, and they fucking are. Them hubs are not equal, so I've worked out that I need. Here we go, look. This is what I've done. We've got the gap between the fat bits on the spindle measures 210. The hub measures 166. They're probably imperial, but I'm sticking with metric for today. Thanks. That is a difference of 44 millimeters, which would give us 22 each side, but we need 7mm different. Yeah. So what we do is split that difference, which is 3.5mm, and we take it off one of the 22s, which gives us 18.5. It means the other one will be plus 3.5, which is 25.5. Those added together make the 44. So we want one at 18.5, one at 25.5. I've measured the gap in the end of the forks. Oh, fucking splinter. Gap in the end of the forks, and it's 31mm or 31.5mm. It's probably 1.25 inches at 32mm, but it's not. It's going to be too tight if we do that. So, I want a bit of clearance with a 3/4 clearance. Yeah. So, as luck would have it, because this fucking people take the piss, man. Because we keep shit. I've gone from the stainless assortments, and we've found some spacers from another time, from back in the day. Yeah. From when Captain Walker was around. Anyway, they're the right OD, they're the right ID, you just need making long enough. Happy days. So I'm going to chuck them up in the lathe and turn them down to the right length. Righto, there's one chucked in. Now what I've done, because I'm clever like that, is measure the fuckers before I put them in. And this one, oddly enough, is 28.3. It's actually 28.34. We don't need to worry about the 100th of a millimetre. This one's 22. So what I've done, I've cranked the old fucking, started the old DRO up, and I'm going to touch off on that and zero it. Now, I need to move in whatever it is. So we've got 22 and we want 18.5. So that's 1.5 is 20. Plus 2 is 3.5, which is 3 point. Come on, any minute now. There. 3.5. So we can crank the old gal up, put her in gear it out, and using the power of feed, yeah, part it off straight with the parting tool. Look, sweet. Oh, stop that! I'll stop you there, Ralfy. Yeah, try tightening the tool up in the fucking holder. That'd help, wouldn't it? Go again. So, touch on. 0. 3.5. So we've not made too much of a mess of it. Lucky, weren't it? Lucky it didn't fuck it up. There we go, look. Happy days. Nice and oily. It's fucking cold in here as well, so. Fuck off. Makes for great smoke. Break that edge. Okay, I've probably got my throat then. Break that edge. And that's one done. I bet that's warm. One down. One to go. Okay, so now I've got the spindle in lathe. The reason being is it's fucking tight in the bearings. So obviously I fitted the front wheel bearings into the hub, so we can't drag an hub over here like and try and offer it up. I've fucking mic'd it and it's so fucking close. I've just taken a slight bit off there with the emery, and it wants to go, but it also don't want to go. There we go. There. So that's okay. Let's try the other end. Just fits. I couldn't get it started at first, so off camera I've gave that end a little bit. I think there was a burr on it, and cleaned the outer diameter up. Excuse me. Fucking oil's got me throat proper. So we'll just use that to hold it. We're not spinning anything up, and we know that just fits, or just goes over. And then we'll come to this, and I think we're going to have the same story. Yeah, just won't quite go. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to move a centre in. It's off camera, you can't see that. I'll move my tool post right out the fucking way for a start off. So up here, and then I'm going to move a live centre in to catch the end of the spindle. Give everything a quick tweak up. I'm just going to go with some really fine emery. You can see the grey on there from doing the other half. I'll give it a polish really, that's all I'm doing. You know, take that shit off out of the way. I don't know if it's a case of new bearings, old fucking spindle, not quite the sideline, but I'll put a little lead on this end. Yeah, like so. Give that a polish. That should help us land that bearing. Let's have a look. Oh, this one comes along. Yeah, happy days. It's really shit on there, isn't it? Yeah, kid. Fucking. It still wants to be really tight on that very end. where I've not touched it. So just get in with that, with the edge of the emery. Nice and gently. As always, if you're not comfortable or familiar with working this close up to dangerous spinny roundy fucking things, don't do it. Yeah, I've been doing this forever. And I've had a few injuries along the way, to be fair, so just take your time and be careful, eh? That's happy day sorted. So this is how it all goes together, look. This has got a flared end, the spindle on the other end's not got, it's got just a straight shank. But either way, these end caps on the upside down is profiled to suit the corresponding part, and they lock on thusly. There's the old stainless spacers we've just machined to size. Holding it all about right, I'll get this end cap on and then we can get the bugger stood up and measure from the floor to the bottom, floor to the top of the bottom yoke, which is all I wanted to do before I started putting it together. I just need that length, just that length, you know. So now that's all together and safely stashed, leaning up against the racking with the fucking chock underneath it. We have measured and we have worked out it's 44 inches from the floor to the bottom of the top yoke, or the top of the bottom yoke, sorry. So the bottom of the headstock is 44 inches as it stands out. It's fucking big. It's like, the bottom yoke's like under my chin, which is quite a long front end. We have therefore been able to do a bit of maths, and we know that to give him, what I'm going to aim for is 5 inches ground clearance at the front and 4.5 at the back, and that ½ inch will allow for a bit of settle. So I might go fucking tall, I might go 5.5 at the front, give it 1 inch. I'll have a think. Either way, I could do my maths, look. And I know that the 44, again, minus 5 is 39. So what I'll do, I'll set the headstock up on the jig at 35 degrees or thereabouts and have a look and see how that sits with 39 inches from the bottom of it through to the bottom of this, which would be the floor light. No, not the floor. With the bottom of the yoke, bottom of the frame. I know what I mean. This gives me my lengths anyway. And I've measured the rear wheel radius, RWR, which is 13 inches. And if we go that 4.5, then that leaves us 8.5, which is this hole although on the rear post. So we can set that to that height, set the old snuff boxes, can't we? Once we measure the width, we can set those on spacers there, make sure they're plumb and square, and that's happy days. And completely off topic, but well worth a mention is today's brunch. A couple of Cumberlands, a couple of slices of spam, which is life, obviously, food of the gods, a little bit of cheddar cheese. That'll go down well with the cuppa and help to warm me up a little bit, because I'm still working in the fucking fridge. Right, now we've got to try and make sense of this rear wheel action to see which of those hubs fit. We've got the bits and bobs we need to try and work that out. Whether we need a different spacer in the middle there, and we need to make an axle for a start off, don't we? We need to make a spindle and the spacers accordingly. Right, so off we go. Problem number 1. Dan, if you're watching, your fucking boat's going to hit the tyre. Oh, that's on the tyre, and it don't quite cover the pulley. We need to space that out 1 inch or whatever. So that's the first thing we need to look at. Brake side fits. Obviously, it's all inboard. There's enough poking out for us to catch the anchor point there. I'm holding it on so I can't point. And what I can do is press the bearing in the hub and then measure the gap from the bottom of this to the top of the bearing to give us that spacer. And then we need to look at whether this needs a spacer to balance out the other side. So we need to sort the other side out first, if that makes makes sense. We want the frame rails to be symmetrical, don't we? So whatever the pulley side is hanging out of the wheel, if you like, we need to do the same with this side. Otherwise it'll be fucking cockeyed. So we have a few options. We can space this up, whatever I've written on it, 20mm, and then get some longer bolts, make a spacer that fits in here. But I ain't happy with having a spacer on a spacer with the bearings and shit. I like that as it is. And I think what I'd do if it was me, and it is me, because I'm the one working it out, is I'm going to make a spacer that fits on here, and then we'll just need some bolts 20mm longer, 3/4 of an inch longer than that. In fact, they might be fucking long enough. Let's have a look. How much do they stick through? I'll have a measure. I don't think they will be long enough. But that's my plan, is to make a spacer with 10 holes in it. Oh, it don't need them holes actually, does it? It just needs these holes. Yeah, of course it fucking does. So I need that and that, dimension wise. Yeah. So let's see what we've got in the fucking aluminium and go from there. After checking the stock and much consideration, we're going to extend it this end, the wheel end, not the belt drive. Fucking also a pulley. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Not the pulley end. The reason being is I've got no material that size, and it needs to be that diameter. And I've got some this diameter, and I'm buying bolts anyway to the modification 30mm longer, 20mm longer, sorry, or 3/4 of an inch. So what I'm going around the houses to say is, because I've got the stock, I'm going to extend it this end, and that's fine. You know, once it's all bolted up, it's very much a muchness. It just means that this spacer will need 2-pack blacking or powder coating to suit once it's cosmetically being done. So I'm going to order some bolts in, 3/4 of an inch longer. And I'm going to make a spacer out of this 3/4 of an inch longer for this same thing, 20mm-ish. So with that, we need to change to the external jaws, I believe, which will give us a chance to get the chuck a bit of a clean out, because it does collect a little detritus along the way. Number 3 out. Right, come on. See, look, sticking. Number 2 out, number 1 out. I'll turn it. Give it a bit of a blow. Like that, to get to blow all the shit away from me fucking tool post and me fucking carriage towards this fucking, the head, where it'll just end up in the bed. We always like to start with a bit of head before we get in the bed. There you fucking go. Happy days. Right, that's number 1 there at the top. That's number 1 there. So we need to turn it until the very top part of the drive just there. I'll just get the other teeth, the other jaws, bear with. Here we go then, we want number 1 in there. Turn, that'll grab it, spin round to number 2. Same again, turn until we see it's there. Turn until it's got it. Round to number 3. Just coming into view, so there we go. And then we can wind them in until we get a grip on that. Sorted. Right, that is great. They're below the outside diameter of the chuck, which is always nice. Let's see how she looks. Not great, but it's not a machined face, is it? It's just that size. Like, I only really want to take the slightest skim off that if I can get away with it, because it's about the size that I want. I mean, really, I don't need to do anything to it. I'll fuck about with it and get it as true as I can. and then we're there, aren't we, you know. We're only good with that. Oh, fucking hell, it's a lot better. There you go, instantly better. That'll do me. Right. Happy days. Okay, first operation, get it faced up. And that in itself is no mean fucking feat, is it? Let's have a look at these speeds. Go on. There she blows, Captain. We are going to take the middle out, but we do need a piece. 475 thou. 2 inches, 475 thou, I should say. So, let's have a look. Yeah, GBV. So we'll get our face off. And then we'll turn that step down. 475 thou. So we'll take the skim off the outside. We need to measure the depth, don't we? Let's get a DRO on the job. We'll leave that wheel. No fucking good, is it? That's no fucking good. We've touched the tool holder on the outside, haven't we? Clean that off. So we need this. This is what we're making on the end of this. So I need to either angle my tool holder, which I'll do, or have a bit more tool hanging out. But I'm quite happy to. Fuck me! This must be the most self-tightening tool holder in all of the land. Right. So again, let's we'll touch off. There, we'll go in to face it up, and then we'll turn that step down, and we're taking a big hole out the middle, say 20 mil, whatever that hole is, I don't know, I'll measure that as well. We're definitely getting rid of that material. So, a little bit there. I think that'll be right. What I'm going to do then is straighten up again. Now we've done with that. Right, so, and need to measure this, the depth of this. I can't show you very well on camera. How far out this comes, how far that sticks out there, between there and there. And we'll go with that. So I've got that, a 1/4 of an inch. I've got 275 thou. It's got a bit of doodle on it, a bit of powder coating on it. Either way, we'll zero, we'll touch on. We'll put that 0, and we need to go 275 mil along. So let's just change my feeds and speeds. About there. Come on. 275 is there, bang on the money. So that's the size of the step. It needs to be a lot smaller this way, obviously, so you can join me once I've machined that down to size. Okay, and on to the last cut with 2475. So, go into there, all the way to the face. We won't remember measurement wise, you know, the depth of it. That's it. 1/4 of an inch. 250 down. There we go. Come on. 270. Right. So we need to go. Quick face up. We'll touch off in that corner. We'll back out and fuck off. Wait them edges. Right, let me just give that. Because this is size, we don't want to machine this down if we can help it. Turn that off, eh? So, what's that? That is now, that is that. So, we need to take the hole out of the middle. And then part it off if we can, or spin it around and machine the back half away, which would be a shame because it means we're going to lose quite a bit of material. What have we got? 3/4 of an inch. With 3/4 of an inch. That's what we want here. So it's half of what's here needs to fuck off. And I don't want to fucking turn that into swarf, you know. As pretty as this is, it's not really usable for fuck all. So I don't want to scrap off this block because it's a nice bit of fucking alley. Anyway, I digress. Kind of. I'll switch out to making holes through the middle tooling. I know, so we're going straight in with the big guns with an 1 3/16. Let's see how big that is. It's 277, that is. That comes out to about, according to my sterret, 1 1/4, a little bit more. 1 3/16, 2.7. Nothing that fucking accurate. 2.8 maybe. 2.84. No. 1 9 30 is 1.281. I don't think we'll fuss too much then, eh? I'm going to go 1.275. Anyway, we'll have it out with this. So, I'm going to try it down a little bit to be fair, let's see what happens. I might even need to pilot it, because I'm being a bit ambitious. Oh no, that'll go. So, yeah, that's the end of it. And there we go, that's deep enough to do it. Fucking hell, look at these. Happy fucking day. Get rid of this fucking shit. Some rags, fucking curly whirlies there, isn't there? Get these out of the way. We switch out to my boring bar and we'll take that out to size to whatever I said it needs to be. I'll double check. Right, boring bar's in. Take a quick clean up. And I know we want it 1.280. So we'll have a quick measure. It's going to get messy, this is it. I didn't go through. I didn't do a through hole. 1.280. I'll switch back to digital because I can't read fucking thous. I have to put my cheaters on to read thous. 1.260. We'll call that 1.257. Fuck it. Accuracy is next to godliness. .257. We want 1.28. So we're almost there, aren't we? We're just fucking. I'll take this down to the bottom. and then go one more. Probably it'll get us there. So, just going to change my feed speed because that was a bit too quick for this tool. There you go, squealer at the end. Not always a bad thing. One, 2, 7, 8. I'll take this down to the bottom, break the edges, and then we need to machine the back out. Here it comes, 300, 200, 100 out, 60, 50, 40, 20, boom. Sorted. Break that edge. Right, and that is that. Now we need to make a negative version of that for this to go over that, if that makes sense, and then put 5 holes in it. Fucking hell, it's warm. Could be time for a brew. That's fucking... Gosh, let go then. Fuck me. Can't keep it. Oh, now we're getting problems, aren't we? Because this diameter, it's the jaws. We're going to have to grip it on the... So we're going to grip it on this edge and let it cool down actually, and then get a grip of it, because it's going to shrink a little bit. I don't want to mark it up too much, although it's going to be finished, cosmetically finished, like. So let it cool down. Chuck it back in this way round and think about, and I'm going to fucking part it off. In my seldom used, I've got this sort of shit. It's nearly there, isn't it? I could possibly use that. We'll have a think about it.